Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Wild Man Creations. And if tonight is your first time joining me, my name is Jay, and tonight we're going to be doing some sloppy joes. Of course, I will put the recipe in the description box. Tonight, unfortunately, we have to fudge a little bit because I wasn't as prepared as I thought I was. It calls for 6 ounces of tomato paste, which I thought I had and I don't, so we're going to improvise with some tomato sauce. It calls for 1.5 pounds of ground beef. When do you buy 1.5 pounds at the store? It's all in 1 pound or 2 pound things. So anyway, we're going to use 1 pound of ground beef. We're going to use a whole onion. It calls for a red bell pepper, and you know me, I'm going to use a poblano instead of a regular bell pepper because I think it has more flavor, and it's just the way I do things. Get my cheat sheet out here. We have a cup of water, which I'm going to reserve because we're not using tomato paste, we're using tomato sauce, so I'm going to kind of hold back on the water unless we need it. A 1/4 cup of ketchup, 3 cloves of garlic. Hello, how many people think I use 3 cloves? You're wrong, and you're wrong. If it calls for 3, I put 4 in. If it calls for 4, I put 5 in. You know how I am. You guys know me better than that already. Anyway, 3 cloves of minced garlic, a half a tablespoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of dried mustard. Again, I'm substituting some distilled white vinegar for some white wine vinegar. It calls for 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. I'm going to put a little bit in there. I'm not going to put quite that much. Maybe a tablespoon and a half, maybe 2, maybe not that much. A teaspoon of dried oregano, half teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of ground pepper, and then we're going to get all that mixed up and we're going to throw them on some hamburger buns. So, without further ado, I'm going to cut away, I'm going to brown up the meat, and then we will start assembling everything. So, if you guys will just sit tight, we'll be back here in a bit. Alright, so I have my meat browned. And I have my onions and peppers sauteed. It doesn't tell you to do this. This is the way I do it. I brown my meat and I drain it because I don't like all that beef fat in there. The recipe will tell you to brown the meat and then put your pepper in and saute it and put the onion in. I don't do that. I brown my meat, drain the fat off because I don't like that much beef fat. It upsets my stomach. So what I do is I'll put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of a pan. I will put my peppers in first because it takes them longer to cook than it does the onions. Don't get me wrong, I love peppers. I love bell peppers. I love cucumbers. I like putting salt and pepper on them and eating them. But they don't like me. I'll be tasting them for 3 or 4 days, afterwards if I don't cook them. So anyway, what we're going to do now, we're going to turn this back on, and we're going to add our meat. Even though it said to do that before, told you to put all that, again, going off the recipe. Brown the meat, put the peppers in. Saute the onion and then drain the fat. I don't do that. But you can do however you like, it doesn't matter. Now it calls for the tomato paste and water. I'm not going to do the tomato paste and the water. I'm going to put in the tomato sauce again because I screwed up. I thought I had tomato paste, I didn't. I'm not going to add any water yet, and I'm going to knock things over in the kitchen. We're going to stir in the ketchup. Again, the ketchup has sugar in it, and that's why I don't use so much of the brown sugar. Now we're going to do the garlic. Make sure you get every little bit. Don't leave anything behind. You don't want the vampires coming after you tonight. Okay, we're gonna add everything except for the brown sugar. So dried mustard, salt, pepper, oregano, paprika, chili powder. Okay, that's everything except for the brown sugar. And the only reason I started making this is we were tired of the canned stuff. So I started researching, you know, how to make this and what to add, what to take away, and it took 3 or 4 times before I found a decent recipe. Or one that I could, you know, kind of piggyback off of, and that's basically what this is. Okay, that is a little bit thick. I am gonna, oh, I forgot my wine vinegar. Or my distilled white vinegar, but I'm using red wine, white wine vinegar. And I think I am gonna put just a smidgen of water in there, just a little bit. Turn the heat up just a tad, and away we, oh yeah, that's better, way better. All right, as we're bringing this up to simmer, man, I wish you guys could smell this, it's pretty good. Again, you don't have to use ground beef, you know, if you want to use ground venison, which I have done before, but because venison is so dry, I would chop up like a couple of pieces, 2 or 3 pieces of bacon, and fry those up until they were rendered down, and then I would put my venison in there. You can use ground turkey, you can use ground chicken, ground bison, which is available in a lot of stores now. But again, the 1.5 pound deal, you know, you would have to go up to the butcher's market or the butcher's counter and ask them for a 1.5 pound, or you would have to buy 2 1-pound things or a 2-pound thing, and then you got a 1/2 pound laying around. Well, I don't have the time and the means to keep all that. So anyway, we're gonna let this simmer for a little bit, and right before I get ready to plate, I'll bring you back. The recipe does say about 10 minutes before you serve to dump the sugar in, so that's what I'm gonna do, but you guys don't need to sit here for that. We'll bring you back in a little bit. Hang tight. Okay, here we go. Got our bun toasted. This is hot as lava. But we're gonna make it through. Something else I like to do too is I like to put cheese on here a lot of times. I'm not gonna do that tonight just because I don't have the cheese that I want. But you can see how thick and hearty that is. I mean, it's hotsy totsy, baby. Wish I could tell you a story or something while I'm waiting on this. It's hot. Again, to me, this is better than one of those things out of a can. It's just, to me, it's not as sweet. I think it has more flavor. And I don't know where I need to be for the camera angle. Try it back here. Golly, that's hot. I'm gonna burn my face off, or at least ruin the roof of my mouth. Oh yeah, baby. Mmm. All right, I'm gonna let that cool off so I'm gonna eat the rest of it. Anyway, again, thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. Again, if you would hit that subscribe button, it doesn't cost you anything. Hit the like button, share it with your friends. It helps the channel out tremendously. And I just thank you guys for joining me. I really do. And again, if you try this stuff, leave me a comment. You know, what did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What would you change? I'm always open for suggestions. So anyway, you guys have a good evening, and we will see you later. Bye.